All right, let's get straight to the video. I don't want to waste time with the intros, but today's video is going to be how to get into wholesale real estate, which I'm sure you've heard this before, if not seen it before. But if you've seen it on a shorter format of video, it's very not good because it seems they make it sound so simple. Once you get in and you see the full detail of it, now you're all confused. So with that being said, I'm not going to get into a very detailed video because then the show is going to be very long. So what I'm going to do is just kind of talk about it, where to start, what to expect and things like that, and how to go and what way to take to make it easier. And if people have questions, like a detailed question, then I'll make a video specifically to answer those questions. But other than that, I'm just going to talk about it in general and what I experienced when I first started, the questions I had and things like that. So first things first, you do have to find the property, distressed property, meaning whether it's like, if somebody's not living in it, if the grass is too tall, if the windows is broken, and it seems like nobody's living in it. Those are the best because now the owner is just paying taxes and things like that to keep up with the house. So they're more likely to sell it a lot faster. And if it's in a condition that it can be listed on the market by an agent and things like that, is even better because they don't want to mess with the headaches of getting it repaired, inspection, and things like that. So there's so many ways that you can get the list. You can drive it around and acquire the list, meaning you have to drive around and find properties that are in that type of condition. The best way that I do it is, I'm sure nobody even talked about this before. If you start doing, let's say if you don't have a job or things like that and you start doing Uber, or if you actually do Uber and DoorDash, as you drive around, you deliver foods to houses and things like that. That gives you a reason to drive, because if you just got up and drive, like, you wouldn't know where to drive, and two, it's just like it wouldn't be convenient. You have to waste gas and things like that. But if you were doing it for DoorDash and Uber, you're already making money. You have a reason to be there to drive around. So that's two birds in one stone. Yeah. So that's one tip, but there's other way too that you can do it. You can get a code violation from your city. If not, like a water shut off list. Those are the best ones too. And once you get those, then you have to find out who the owner is. Skip trace it using free method, if not pay method. The pay method, of course, is going to be better. Duh. And it's going to make it more efficient. And then you can call them from that way. But one of the best one is you can go to Fiverr, which I'm sure anybody heard of. Everybody heard of. So whenever you need anything, that's where you go to. That's where you go to. If you want website build, if you want YouTube banner, channel art, whatever, like thumbnails, or if you want anything made, you go to Fiverr. But they actually sell lists as well. So the list will have the owner, the property, and you tell them which property type you want to. Like if you want vacant houses or tired landlords, if not absentee owners and things like that, whichever you want to work on, you can tell them, and which I'll show you too. I have it in an order, and they'll give you all the property with the owner name, first name, last name, a couple of phone numbers, 5-6 numbers, wireless and landline, and some emails. Now, not all of them is going to be accurate, because even when you do it yourself, if not with the pay method and you skip trace it, not every number is going to be accurate. But for the most part, it is. I have good experience in it, and that's what I'm talking about on the video. So, which I'll show you here in a second, how to get those and what it looks like and what to expect. But once that's kind of like what the best way you do it. And plus, it's only like $10, and I got like, I think 130. That's not bad, especially when you first start. It'll give you practice and to work on. And imagine you do one deal off of that, you'll make your money 10 times fold, like 100 times. So with that being said, that's kind of like one of the best way and the easiest way that you can acquire the list. But if you don't even have $10 to spend, then the free way to do is just to get the code violation. Then you got to sit there and skip trace it, and you got to find out who the owner is. Those kind of has been hard for me when I first started. It was not bad because Harris County was a little bit easier. But if it's like a different county, I just didn't know how to work their website and just kind of find the owner. But even whatever it is, even if you know how to do it and you start doing it that way, it kind of takes time. So it's better to have, especially if you have money to spend on, there's actually software that you can join, either whether it's somebody that's been doing wholesale real estate and they ended up making their own software, or they ended up buying software. If not, if you go to batch leads, or you already been paying for batch leads, then you can get lists from there. I don't know exactly how they do it because I never done a batch lead, but I watched Jerry Norton and I was in his software, and you'd be able to download it on your Google Sheet, and they have like the owner's name, first name, last name, address, mail-in city, mail-in zip, states, and things like that. So let's say if you were to pay for skip tracing, and they'll tell you what's the order will be, and all you got to do is just copy and paste it and just kind of have it structure it that way, how you would do it whenever you get ready to skip trace it. So hope I'm not all over the place, but which I knew I was going to be. You can drive around, either acquire the list, meaning looking for a property that's distressed, seems like nobody's living in it, and you have to search and see who the owner is, and then you have to find out using TruePeopleSearch.com to find out what the cell phone is. Now, once you find out who the owner is and you find it on True People Search, there's gonna be like 10, 15 numbers, 2, 3, 4 numbers sometimes, and you sit there and dial them. Most of them disconnected, some of them is not right, or one will be right, but it'll be at the end. That's something that you have to go through when you first start. So I do want to tell you that. So there's also something called direct mail, but that costs money. And then I don't want you to think about that because that's kind of overwhelming, especially when you first start. That is not what you want. And you want to reduce your costs as well. But the first best thing that is going to be the easiest, simplest, free, the most cheapest is going to be to cold call. Whether you get the list from Fiverr or you skip trace it or whatever. And also there's going to be a text messaging that you can do. There's a free route that you can do, but of course the pay route again is going to maybe be efficient. It's going to be more, it's a lot easier, but you'll get there eventually. So, but when you first start calling, you'll learn a thing or two. You'll get experience, basically, again, your communication skill and everything like that. So later, once you start making money, then you can worry about those stuff. So that's going to be the best route. Let me go ahead and show you on Fiverr. So if you actually look here, even if you go Fiverr and type in wholesale real estate, and you can see I'll do real estate wholesaling, cold calling, skip tracing, and things like that. And you can see the price. You can go to the reviews. When you first start, of course, you don't want them to do your cold calling. You want to learn and get the most experience that you can. Let me see. I will do USA wholesale real estate, cold calls. I will do bulk skip tracing, and real estate lead generation. I was cold calling. So you can kind of go through it. You'll see this is the guide that I ordered from right here. As if you see, I will provide updated real estate motivated seller leads with skip trace. So you don't have to do that. So you can kind of go through it. It's very simple. All you got to do is just search wholesale real estate and then go from there, whatever service you want to use. Because later, once you start doing a couple of deals a month, of course, you're going to want to invest a little bit more and have somebody cold calling, because I never tried cold calling, so I'm not going to give my comments on that, in my opinion. I don't know exactly if they're going to call and what are they going to say, how to prove it and things like that. So if you are working on a single family home, just kind of tell them that's all you want to do. So that way they don't mix in condos and things like that. So that way you can get the most for your money. With that being said, that's the thing I like about Fiverr. You get to ask the question, the seller, before you submit your order. So just be direct and ask all the questions that you have. And once you're good and comfortable, then go ahead and submit the order. But I feel like with $10, you have nothing to lose. You'll get 130. It depends. Some people might even offer more. If you want more lists, you can definitely order more. But the standard or the base or order package or whatever, I think is 130. So, and you can go from there. So hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If I have video coming out, I'll let you know regarding that question. If not, I'll just answer your question right then and then. But there will be more video coming out. Just